Hello folks, this is Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing here in Dallas, Texas. I get a lot of questions asked and it was a good time to make a video. Scott, can you polish these vinyl stripes that are on cars? The answer is yes, and I have an opinion, like everything else, right guys, on what tool is appropriate to be able to do the vinyl stripes that happen to be on this Ford Mustang. You have to remember something. The vinyl is very soft. It's softer than clear coat. Right now, if you notice, I'm using a Griot's. This is a 6-inch orbital polisher, right? What is the throw on a 6-inch? Is it six inches or 8 inches? That's important, its throw, because a lot of guys will use, again, this is my opinion, folks. I have Rupez's, I've got Griot's Boss machines, but when it comes to trying to correct with a very fine polish these vinyl stripes, you got to remember it's very soft, and if you're using a Rupez that has a 15mm throw or a 21mm throw, this can become a little bit, the vinyl doesn't like it. In my opinion, the vinyl stripes, because they're so soft, they don't like all that action, all that throw. It's very much like the clear coat that you find on the B-pillars on most cars, that black trim. Those pieces of trim don't like a lot of action either. So what I'm going to do here, I've got the Griot's 6-inch orbital with the small throw on it. I'm going to come in here and lightly tap out my product. Hopefully I don't get in the camera's way, right? And usually what I like to do is stay on the vinyl stripe. These are pretty wide. I don't necessarily want to come off the vinyl stripe either way and then come back on, because I've got an edge where the vinyl stripe is. You don't want to kind of aggravate or agitate that area. Sometimes you can have a little bit of grease and grime in there as well, although this car has been cleaned like we would all typically do and prep the surface before we do any type of paint correction. But you might get a little grease and grime right along that edge that didn't come off, and you don't want to be pulling that up onto your pad and then onto the vinyl stripe. You kind of want to stay right in the middle of the vinyl stripe, and I'll show you how this works. I'm going to spread my product out on speed 2. I'll turn my machine off so I can kind of talk to you a little bit. If you notice, the throw on this thing is not very large. It's not like a Rupez. It's not like a Griot's. In my opinion, when you're trying to cut something, and again, what we're using here is, yes, I'm using an orange pad, but I'm applying very little pressure with the DA. I'm also just using a fine polish. I just kind of want to kiss this vinyl stripe. I want the polish to do the work for me, and I want to stay right on the vinyl. I don't want to be coming off it and coming back on. Again, this is just my opinion, folks, if you're trying to look for perfection when you're trying to remove some of the light scratches that might show up on this vinyl. So what I'm going to do is speed up the machine to about speed 5, and I'll show you my arm speeds and how I work this fine polish with a small throw orbital. On this particular vinyl stripe, I've just got some light scratches on it. I don't have to hang out on there very long, maybe 3 section passes, almost no pressure at all, a fine polish, and don't, again, it's my opinion, folks. I find when I use a Rupez on this stuff with large throws, it gets really finicky because the vinyl is very soft and it's too much action, and you'll actually scratch it in the process of trying to remove any type of blemishes off that vinyl stripe. So that was a question that gets asked of me a lot. Scott, can you actually paint correct these things? You can. Go in with a fine polish. Go in with a machine that doesn't have a large throw to it. Go over at speed 5. Very little pressure to no pressure at all. And try to stay on the vinyl stripe if you can. Don't come off it and come back on. I think you'll get amazing results like I am now. This just looks absolutely perfect. Almost looks like the day it was brand new. The reason why I'm doing this is a customer of mine that I take care of monthly. He's in my maintenance program, and we had some concrete dust that fell on the car. He lives in an area where there's a lot of construction going on with high-rises, and I actually had to remove the concrete dust with a clay bar. So I actually marred up the surface a little bit all over the vehicle. so I'm just doing a fine polish. But I wanted to talk about how to dial in those vinyl stripes. I think you'll find that very easy. Try to use a small throw DA. In my opinion, the large throws are just too busy for these types of things because they're so soft. I appreciate it, guys. Love you all. I got to get back to work. Been incredibly busy. Hopefully we'll make some more videos for you in the future. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.